creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
For as long as mankind has ruled the earth, we have thought of ourselves as the dominant life form, the apex predator. Through wit and technological superiority, we are certain that we can overcome any threat to our existence. We know that we will never be prey. But what if we are wrong? What if our hubris was checked in the most brutal and humiliating manner possible? How would we fare against an organism that could outpace us in almost every regard? As we see in the 2001 film Jeepers Creepers, not well. Based in Florida, Jeepers Creepers tells the story of two hapless siblings who stumble across a mysterious figure dumping what appears to be bodies down a massive drain pipe. Driven by curiosity and cursed with great misfortune, the siblings uncover a mass gravesite of mutilated bodies, many of which are sewn together and preserved in a gruesome fashion that would make even Jeffrey Dahmer blush with envy. The one responsible for the murders is eventually revealed to be a creature of nightmare known to local residents as the Creeper, a winged demon that hunts for 23 days every 23 years. For those 23 days, or 552 hours, the demon sates its thirst for blood and fear by tracking, tormenting, and butchering those whose scent it finds palatable. For those unlucky enough to draw its attention, there is little that can be done to close shut the jaws of death. While the age of the Creeper is never stated, it is implied to be centuries, perhaps thousands of years old. Based upon its diet and the purpose of its hunt, which is driven by careful selection and necessity rather than mere bloodlust, it is not foolish to believe that the Creeper has existed as long as mankind has, ever lurking in the dark, seizing prey in order to persist for yet another 23 years. In the comic Jeepers Creepers Trail of the Beast, the Creeper was worshipped by the Aztecs, who believed it to be the serpent god Quetzalcoatl, a deity that consorted with the rulers of wind and was affiliated with the planet Venus. He was also tied with mercantile, artistry, and knowledge. In the comic, the Creeper is depicted as accepting an excised human heart for consumption during an Aztec ritual. The Creeper likewise appears in Cherokee folklore, feared and respected as an Uktena, or a dragon-like horned serpent. The Creeper is also shown to be responsible for the mysterious disappearance of the Roanoke colony around 1587. It is fair to conclude that wherever a string of unsolved disappearances can be found throughout history, the Creeper was likely active. Despite its frightening and demonic appearance, the Creeper has eluded widespread attention for centuries due to its uncanny intelligence and resourcefulness. The Creeper has persisted across the North and South American continents that we know of, and throughout numerous technological, economical, and cultural periods of human history. It possesses a keen understanding of the customs and behaviors of each generation that it preys upon, despite only being active for less than a month. There is a theory as to how the Creeper acclimates so rapidly despite the profound difference 23 years can make during its hibernation. This will be explored later in the video. Standing at over 6 feet tall and usually depicted wearing a Western duster coat with a wide-brimmed Stetson hat, the Creeper blends in well enough to avoid overt attention at a distance, but nevertheless it is an imposing figure that invokes fear. That is, after all, what it wants. For the majority of its period of activity, the Creeper will move about as clandestinely as it cares to in order to avoid drawing too much attention. However, as the 23rd day approaches, it will steadily grow bolder, drawing out more of its demonic and brutal traits. When exposed or threatened, or when high-speed travel is required, the Creeper will shed its human clothing to reveal its most conspicuous feature. As if born from the embers of hell, the Creeper carries enormous bat-like wings on its back, a second set of limbs that grant it the ability to swim through the air. The power these wings grant the Creeper cannot be understated. Not only does it allow it to launch into the air in the blink of an eye, but it grants superlative maneuverability, rendering the Creeper a veritable dancer in the night sky as it twirls and dives upon unsuspecting victims. If that were not frightening enough, a number of seemingly prehensile claws encompass the Creeper's head, extending outwards to create a patagium hood that will render all but the most stout of hearts crippled with fear. Although demonic in appearance, the Creeper is no mindless beast. As observed in the films, it does harbor a warped sense of taste. It finds no joy in sleeping in a barren cave filled with dirt. It takes pleasure in its work, and prefers a comfortable home that it can decorate with trophies from the hunt. But where a human might hang the head of a deer or ram on their wall, the creeper takes things a bit further. It uses its steady hand to stitch human skin as well as entire bodies together into a veritable tapestry of carnage. A man's home is his castle. The creeper's home is its torture chamber. Among its skill at epidermal embroidery, the creeper boasts numerous bone-chilling abilities. A superb tracker, the creeper has superhuman olfactory organs, evidenced by the third nostril on the bridge of its nose, easily locating its prey of choice from possibly dozens of miles away. Even as it scrapes the sky with its razor-tipped wings, the creeper can pinpoint the particular scent of sweat and fear in a human. Further, as shown in the comic and implied through the creeper's skill and engineering from the films, the creeper seems to be able to form some kind of telepathic link with its victims, both living and dead. The truck the creeper drives in the first film, for example, is modified to such an extent that it can easily outpace smaller, sleeker vehicles, implying that the creeper gained skills and engineering from one of its many victims. This theory is further strengthened by the creeper's manipulation of its crafted weaponry. The creeper can summon and guide its instruments at will, almost appearing to seek out its victims without it having to lift a finger. Most horrifying of all the creeper's traits, however, is also the secret to its longevity. As stated before, the creeper does not merely hunt for pleasure or bloodlust. 23 years of hibernation takes its toll, and the creeper's body, though durable, is not immune to the passage of time. Therefore, the creeper endures not from merely feeding itself, but by literally using the bodies of its victims to replace its own decrepit components. If its arm is severed, it will attach a new one. If its leg is crushed, it will reconstitute it from the dead and dying. If its eyes are gouged, it will harvest fresh ones and see the world from a renewed perspective. In this way, the creeper is virtually indestructible. Even losing its head cannot stop the demon from simply acquiring a new one. With all of its strength, speed, and ingenuity from centuries of bloodshed, the creeper does not suffer from foolishness or pride. It is patient and cunning, and will employ strategy in order to not only thin the numbers of potential threats, but to sow fear and chaos as well. Interestingly, the creeper seems to enjoy the thrill of pursuing a single target, and will often focus solely on them while sparing or at least minimizing the number of casualties amongst any others that happen to be near. The creeper, although without mercy, demonstrates at least the ability to process, if not outright empathize, with its victims. For a brief moment during the first film, for example, one can almost see a glimmer of consideration in its eyes as Trish begs it to take her instead of her brother. In the end, however, the creeper's philosophy prevails. Weakness is discarded. Survival is all that matters.
Let's get away from her, Darren.
It eats lungs so we can breathe. And eyes so we can see. It all becomes a part of it. Whatever it eats becomes a part of it.
The creeper is terrifying in many ways, but ultimately what sets it apart is the manner in which it blends into society. It lies dormant for years, fading in memory from all except those fortunate enough to survive its touch. It drapes itself in the simplest of disguises, almost as if to mock our inability to recognize danger. It is only when we are close enough to see the creeper for what it is that we realize our mistake, but by then it is far too late. If you are not dead already, it surely has your scent, and soon enough you will wish that it had killed you there and then. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. If you have a favorite creature or villain from cinema, feel free to share it in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for inspiration for more deep dives.